Welcome to Buffalo Mafia Football Talk. I am your host, Tommy. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and hit that thumbs up. All right, so we had some cuts this week. John Brown, Quinton Jefferson. No surprise for most Bills fans. I am surprised that John Brown was surprised because we all knew this was coming, right? I would say 75% of Bills Mafia knew cuts were going to be made and John Brown was going to be one of them. Unfortunately, I loved John Brown while he was here. I love John Brown as a player altogether. I think he was very underrated. But unfortunately, injuries and age has caught up to John Brown. Now, can he still be useful for another team? Yes, he can be. Will he get another 1,000 yards receiving? No. Unfortunately, like I said, his speed, which was his main, thing about John Brown, has, he's slowed down a little bit, right? So speed isn't where it used to be, which is, a concern if you're looking for a speedy receiver. I believe McKenzie even came out earlier in the season, and I actually asked a question. It was on a YouTube channel, live feed, and he was a guest. I won't mention the channel, but I actually asked him, who's the fastest on, between you and John Brown, who's the fastest? And he said he can beat John Brown in a race, and John Brown's not even the fastest on the team. It was, I think McKenzie said him and somebody else, and then John Brown. So, smoke is no longer smoke. So yeah, he actually did an interview, I believe yesterday on Sirius, saying he was surprised about the cut. He didn't see it coming. Nobody really informed him that it was going to happen. He believes Josh Allen may have or may not have been involved with being in those conversations about keeping or cutting John Brown. Obviously, that is not true. I don't think the quarterback has, no say really what the GM does. That's a business thing. It's a business decision that, unfortunately, Brandon Beane has to make to better this football team. Okay, so Quinton Jefferson was a no-brainer as well. He really did not produce anything on the field this season for us. John Brown, like I said, he just could not stay on the field, and his speed did diminish. Okay, so that being said, who can we add in free agency? There is a couple players that I like. You got Emmanuel Sanders, who I prefer over Kenny Stills, who's on our team now or was. And the reason why I don't think Stills will sign with Buffalo, there's a couple reasons. One, which to me is the big one, is we signed him to the practice squad going into the playoffs. Gabe Davis got hurt big time against the Ravens. Going into that AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, they didn't even play Stills and activated Gabe Davis, who I think played 1 snap, 2 snaps, did nothing. So if I'm Stills, I'm saying, look, I'm healthy 100%, and you guys don't even give me an opportunity to play in a playoff game. So, players have pride. Players take that shit personally. Did he? I believe he did. I don't think he'll resign with Buffalo. I just don't. And I think he might want even more than Beane is willing to pay. Now, Sanders is an interesting one because he also was coming off an injury with the Saints. He had an okay season, but he's a speedster. He's proven, and I think he could come at a decent price tag. Now, if he's still, it just depends on what he wants. If it's a little too high for Beane's blood, Beane may just go out and draft 5th round speedster just to have him, on the team. Okay, but we still got Isaiah Hodgins, who I'm not sure about his speed. I got to check on that, what he ran on the combine. I believe he has a little bit of speed, but he's not a burner. And then of course, Gabe Davis is just an overall player. Like, he's not fast, but he's not slow. I like his height. He played really good for his rookie season. He made some phenomenal catches in the playoffs. But he still has room, to get better, right? So he's going to have an off season. Maybe I think we might have preseason, maybe one game, something like that. So he's going to have a little bit more time to work with this team, to get familiar with Josh Allen. So Gabe Davis should have a much better season next season. So we'll see how that goes. But we do need a speedster to replace John Brown. You got to have a speedster. You have to. Got to keep the defense honest, right? McKenzie, he's a free agent. I love McKenzie. I think he will come at a decent price. Why not sign him at the price is right? If it's a team-friendly deal, give him a 1 to 2 season deal and let the guy come back, man. To me, you let go of Roberts. I believe Roberts has 1 more year deal. I would cut Roberts. I would sign McKenzie. McKenzie could do kickoff returns, punt returns. You guys saw that against Miami. Roberts never returned. I don't think Roberts ever had a kickoff return or punt return for a touchdown since being in Buffalo. Now, not saying he's bad, but he didn't do anything to wow me. He just was a reliable kick returner. On offense, he did nothing, right? McKenzie at least did the jet sweeps. He had a couple touchdowns for receiving. So he's useful, right? He's like a Swiss Army knife. That's how I consider him. So why not have him do kick returns, punt returns? And he knows this offense, right? So if he comes at a decent price tag, I would definitely sign McKenzie back. That's my thoughts. Now, more free agents coming out. Will Von Miller be cut by the Broncos? A lot of reports are saying he probably will. I'm all for signing him. To me, his value is anywhere from 9 to 12 at max a season. If Bean signed him at 12, I wouldn't be mad at that. I really wouldn't. A lot of fans are going to say, wait, his injury history, but you guys don't understand. This guy brings it when he's healthy. And I believe he had the whole season off. He's going to be coming back hungry, healthy, and he's a problem for offenses, right? So why not sign him if he's available? That's one signing I would love to happen. Milano, you guys, Milano's gone. I'm going to call it right now. Bean already came out and said all of our free agents, he's going to go. He's not going to, he's not going to give that 5th year option. He's just going to let them test the free agency market. So he said that same thing with Jordan Phillips. When Jordan Phillips was free agent, he earned that right. And I don't even think he made an offer to Jordan Phillips. So Milano's going to get a big size contract somewhere. And I don't think Bean will match that offer. I believe Milano is gone. So that's why I would love to bring in a Von Miller to replace Milano. Also, Tremaine Edmonds. I got to say, you guys, I think he's reached his ceiling. I do. He's not a bad player, but I don't think he's a very good player. He's an average linebacker, and it sucks because I really had high hopes for him. Obviously, he's coming back next season, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does wind up getting traded sometime, maybe before the draft or even midway through the season. His tackling, he has poor tackling, you guys. I feel like he's almost took a step back this season, to me. So I think we got to get new linebackers in here. What I would prefer to happen is if Von's available and he's willing to sign with us, you sign Von Miller and you draft a linebacker to work along with him, right? Or you sign one in free agency that, on a 2-year, 3-year deal. That's what I would do. And you trade Edmonds and you get a draft pick. Get one now while you can. Because I don't even see them re-signing Edmonds when he becomes available in free agency. You know what I'm saying? So to me, get rid of him now, get a draft pick, get something for him, and then go out and maybe use that pick for a linebacker, and you sign Von Miller. But these are just, listen, you guys, I am a couch GM. these are just my opinions, my thoughts. You know, don't mean I'm right or wrong. You guys are probably gonna kill me on here, but just my thinking. Okay. Who else? Also, you guys, for the draft, which I'll obviously be doing new draft videos later on, as soon as the draft, you know, is approaching. But I really like Najee Harris. I would love that pick in the first round. He's a big back. We need a big back. I do not want another running back that's small, short, undersized. I love Devin Singletary. Matter of fact, I came out on Twitter before we drafted Singletary and said the Bills should draft this guy in the third round. They should, because he played great in college, and they sure enough did draft Singletary, and he played a very good rookie season, considering that we didn't really even use him till like the fourth game, right? So, and his net yards, I believe he was 1 or 2 in the league. He averaged like 5 yards a carry. Last season, I don't think it was all his fault. I think the blocking was terrible for run blocking. You know, so I can't blame him all of that, but I will say this. He doesn't have the speed, you know, to break one loose, and he also is a small guy. We need a powerful back, okay? I believe Singletary is a number 2, great number 2 running back, but we need a number 1. You have to have it. So that's something I would love for them to draft. I would love them to draft a running back, Najee Harris, and the first. And then I'm going to go offensive lineman for the next 2 rounds, linebacker, and if we don't sign a tight end or trade for one, a tight end. That's my draft picks, and a cornerback. Cornerback somewhere in there. We need a cornerback unless we sign one. You know, I'm hearing Sherman, but Sherman is a vet. I mean, God, you know, he was good at one point, but, you know, so was Josh Norman, right? So how good is he? I mean, he's declined, right? So depends on what he's asking, and I still don't think he would be a good number 2. Maybe number 3, right? Levi Wallace, I don't think will be back. I wouldn't be mad if we sign him, though. I would want him back because he knows the defense, but he's not a number 2. You got to get somebody in there to help Trey. You got to. Speed killed us in the playoffs against the Chiefs. They absolutely killed us. Trey, as you guys know, he's fast, but he's not that fast, right? So he could not keep up with the Chiefs, right? Like, just couldn't. They killed us, right? Speed kills. So we have to have a corner that with a little speed that can guard these guys, right? Like a Tyreek Hill coming out of the backfield. There was no chance for us. And then of course their tight ends were killing us. We lacked a lot on defense on the cornerback position this year, and linebacker position when Milano went down. Okay, so that's why I'm saying address the linebacker position, get a number 2 cornerback to complement Trey White. That's where I'm feeling in the draft, but I'm gonna do a little bit more of my own research on the draft, who's available, because I'm slacking a little bit right now, you guys. I haven't really paid attention to who's on the board coming into this draft. I just know I want Najee Harris in number 1. You got to do what you got to do. I'm hearing Bean went to Clemson and saw ATN, who was a hell of a running back. But he's another smaller back. Do you want another smaller back? I don't. I want a bigger back. That's my opinion. And I wouldn't draft ATN in the first. I just wouldn't, because he's going to go in the first, I think. But I don't want him. We already have 2 small backs. I want a big, powerful bruiser who has some speed. That's Najee Harris, guys. So I'm all in for it. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching. Bills Mafia number 1. Peace.